There are 4 different types of stocks you can invest in. I'll talk about the difference between each, and then I'll show you examples inside Tykr. Let's dive in. So the 4 different types of stocks you can invest in include value stocks, growth stocks, dividend stocks, and speculative stocks. So here are the differences between each. With value stocks, all 4 M's are achieved. In Tykr, we talk about the 4 M's. We have a 4M confidence booster or checklist. And this is something that Phil Town has taught. And it's also something that Warren Buffett has talked about a little bit as well. Essentially, it goes like this. You have the first M, which is the margin of safety. That really encompasses the math part of investing, all the numbers. I see a lot of analysts out there on YouTube, as well as popular sites where you see some stock reviews. They always start and stop with the math, which drives me nuts because investing is more than just math. You have to look at the other 3 M's, which are the meaning, moat, and management. The meaning is the business model. How many different revenue streams does the business have? And how scalable are those revenue streams? Then you have that third M, that's the moat. How does the business stack up against the competition? And then you have the last M, that's the management. That's the track record of the CEO. All right, so with value stocks, all 4 M's pass. Financials look great. They have a strong meaning, strong business model. They have a strong competitive advantage. And the CEO has a track record of building businesses, sometimes selling businesses, and increasing the share price. Now, value stocks are great for building your wealth. If you're still working, you have a plan to reach financial independence or retirement, you want to be investing in value stocks. Tykr is focused on value stocks. Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Phil Town. Value stocks is the tried and true, safe way to build your wealth. It's actually one of the fastest ways to build your wealth through the power of compound interest. Next up, you have growth stocks. With growth stocks, 3 M's pass. Typically that meaning, moat, and management, they'll pass, but that first M, that's the margin of safety, the math part, typically looks pretty bad, and I'll show you again some examples inside of Tykr, so you know the difference between a value stock and growth stock. But growth stocks, hey, if the financials look pretty rough, but you've got a strong meaning, moat, and management, that might be a stock worth investing in. You had better know the business model, the competition, and the CEO if you move forward with a growth stock. Next up, we have dividend stocks. Dividend stocks are not for building your wealth. Let me rephrase that. They are not for building your wealth. Dividend stocks are for people who have achieved or are pretty close to financial independence or retirement. What you want to do is use value stocks to build your wealth because the compound interest, or the returns you can get, like for example, within Tykr, we aim for between 15 and 50% per year. My returns over about 7 or 8 years are closer to that 50%. The reason is I invest in 10 stocks. I don't have a portfolio of 50 different stocks. I have 10 stocks, highly focused, and I just keep investing in those as much as I can. I let compound interest build your wealth for you. I've got a lot of different case studies of customers within Tykr, as well as people I talked to through the years that own even less than 10 stocks, and they can get to $1 million or more with their portfolio because highly focused in strong value stocks. But dividend stocks, they're for people who want to keep building their portfolio, slow but sure, but you don't have to sell shares. You can actually take a payment every quarter. Dividend stocks will pay you every quarter just for holding a stock. So it's a great place to be. So if you're in a position, you're like, you know what, I want to go on a new trip, or I want to make an improvement to my house, or I want to go out for a nice dinner, or just do something that you've been waiting for. You don't have to sell a bunch of shares. You can just get paid through the dividends. It's a great place to be. So again, it's for people who achieved financial independence, retirement. It's not for people who are in wealth building mode. And last on the list, we have speculative stocks. Speculative stocks fail all 4 M's. Financials look horrible. They have a weak business model, no competitive or very little competitive advantage, and the CEO hasn't done a lot in the past. They don't have a track record. An American football analogy, let's say you're the general manager of a football team and you want to go win a Super Bowl. Are you going to look for or search for a quarterback that has previously won Super Bowls, or are you going to the local high school to find some kid that can throw a football around? Obviously, you're going for a quarterback that has won Super Bowls in the past. Same thing goes for in business. We like business leaders who have built businesses, sometimes built and sold businesses, and of course have a track record of increase in the share price. It's really important to invest in CEOs with that background. Okay, with that in mind, let's dive into Tykr so you can see what are the differences between value, growth, dividend, and speculative stocks. This may surprise some of you, but I'm going to go through a list of stocks that fall into categories you probably thought they didn't fall into. First on the list, Apple. Some people say Apple is a growth stock. Nope. Apple is a value stock. Look at this. Score of 61 out of 100. Really strong financials, as a value stock should have, and margin of safety of 75%. And another reason we can prove this is a value stock, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are partners at Berkshire Hathaway. They are big on value stocks. What is the largest stock they hold in their portfolio? Apple. There you go. Apple is a value stock. Here's another on the list you may be surprised to see in this category. Tesla. Look at this. Score of 83 out of 100. Outstanding financials. And their growth potential, you can see here, margin of safety of 55%. Some people say this is definitely a growth stock. Nope. This is a value stock. Growth stocks don't have these kind of financials. This right here is a financially strong company. Next on the list, this is a fun one. Topgolf Callaway. So I'm into golf. I'm not going pro anytime soon, but I really enjoy the sport. And they are a value stock. You can see here scores 55 out of 100 and margin of safety 90%. Really strong financials. And with the company itself, they are more than just golf clubs, golf bags, golf balls, all the little apparel and accessories that come with the sport. They acquired Topgolf a few years ago, which is, if you guys don't already know this, it's a really fun business model where you can take your family, you can rent a bay, think of like bowling alleys, but you're in this little bay and they have different levels where you can kind of hit off a second floor or third floor at targets in a field. And they have different computer systems and games. For example, you can play Angry Birds, you can play blackjack. So what they'll do, for example, is the targets out on the field will have a different card attached to it, such as a jack of clubs or a queen of hearts or whatever. And your objective is to not break 21, and you try to hit the ball out there as close to the target as you can. Seriously addicting. It's a ton of fun. And they're not only making money on the golf bays itself, you can order food, you can order drinks, and you could be there. Like, for example, I went there, planned to be there with a few friends for an hour. It turned into 2 hours, and I've done that a few times. So with all the golf products they sell, they also have this golf experience, Topgolf, and it is growing really fast. It's a really cool business model. But again, this is a value stock. Okay, let's transition to growth stocks. So growth stocks, again, they pass 3 M's. That first M typically does not pass. First on the list, we have Atlassian. This is a stock I actually hold in my portfolio. For those of you that are software engineers, you'll be familiar with Jira or Trello. Great products for software engineering. Check this out. It scores 45 out of 100. Margin of safety is 0%. So the first M does not pass. Financials could be better, but this is why I invested in this stock. That meaning of the business, they have a lot of different products underneath the Atlassian business model. We like businesses that have various revenue streams. This checks that box. They have been the standout tool, especially I've worked for a lot of large corporations that use Atlassian products. For example, I worked at Kohler for a while. They use Atlassian for project management, especially Jira. It's a great tool. And when you have thousands of people within an organization that need licenses, the dollars add up really fast. And then last on the list, their management team, they actually have pretty good Glassdoor rating. A lot of people do like working at this company. So 3 M's pass. Just that first M, that's the math part, does not pass. In summary, Atlassian is a growth stock. Next on the list is a familiar brand. We have Amazon. Check this out. Scores 39 out of 100 and margin of safety is 0%. Financials could be a lot better, but we jump over to those other 3 M's. You have the meaning of the business. Amazon has a lot of revenue streams. They have the e-commerce side. They generate revenue from advertising. They have AWS. They also have bought a lot of companies through the years that have created other revenue streams or other products within the company. This that meaning is definitely passing. Then you move on to the moat. How does this company stand out from the competition? They're pretty much the flagship e-commerce platform in the world. A lot of people would say, okay, so you can order a lot of products on Target or Walmart. A lot of people still prefer Amazon. And then AWS, Azure is really good too with Microsoft, but AWS, Azure, pretty much the top two players with cloud hosting. There's a wide moat there. And then management, Andy Jassy is the CEO. He's done a great job. He was really the builder behind AWS, moved into the CEO role of the company, done a great job leading Amazon. We need to see the financials jump up a little bit. And I think we'll be okay here in the coming years. Overall, you've got a business here. Sure, they fail that first M, but the other three M's at meaning, moat, and management, they pass. This is a growth stock. Next up, we're jumping into dividend stocks. So again, dividend stocks are great for those of you who are near or at financial independence or retirement. You can hold these stocks and just pay yourself with the dividends. So first on the list, we have Caterpillar, large manufacturing company. Those of you who are familiar with the bulldozers and all the other cool toys out there, this is a great global company. If you look at their score, you can see 67 out of 100. Margin of safety is 0%. This would be a value stock if that margin of safety were above 50%. But what's more important about this stock, you jump over to the details, check this out. Dividend yield, 1.79%. Look, $4.90 they pay. Outstanding place to be. So Caterpillar is a great dividend stock. Next on the list, we have Microsoft. So Microsoft kind of checks multiple categories. Their score is 72 out of 100, really strong financials. Margin of safety is 0%. If it was above 50%, it would definitely be a value stock. I would still consider it more of that because this stock has jumped between on sale and watch. You can see back in time here, a few years back, you can see it was on sale for a while. But in this case, I'm looking at details. Look at this. Dividend yield is 0.83%. Pays a dividend of $2.72, which is also pretty good. Not as high as Caterpillar, but still really good. So with this stock, I look at this as a great stock to continue building your wealth. But when you hit financial independence or retirement, you can simply hold it, keep getting paid with those dividends. Therefore, you don't have to sell shares. Okay, jumping into the fourth type of stock, you have speculative stocks. Number one on the list, GameStop. Look at this, overpriced, score of 39 out of 100, margin of safety 0. These financials are awful. Then with the meaning, moat, and management, you also have issues that meaning there's not a lot of revenue streams in this business, not even compared to an Apple or Microsoft or even Tesla. Then you jump over to the moat. There are a lot of video game companies out there, especially companies where you can buy video games. GameStop is not really setting itself apart from the competition. And then management, they've had turnover issues over the years. When a business has new CEOs coming in every few years, that's a red flag. What they're trying to do is what the board is trying to do, bring in new leadership to try to turn the ship around. And if they fail, go for somebody else, and then they fail, they go for somebody else. That's a bad place to be. That's pretty much the story of GameStop. Next up, we have Koss. So I have to pick on Koss here a little bit, although it's from my hometown, Milwaukee. Look at this. Score is 28 out of 100. Margin of safety is 47%. So it's flirting with that 50% we want to see. But big issue here, it's a penny stock. Share price is $3.52. I've talked about this in other videos. When a stock hits the range between 0 and $5 US dollars, it officially reaches penny stock territory. And then 99.9% of stocks that hit that range don't break out past $5. The reason is large corporations have lost confidence and they move on to other businesses. So this is a stock I definitely avoid just because of the share price and the financials in itself. Then you look at that meaning. This is a business model that doesn't have a lot of different revenue streams. It's mainly headphones and speakers. They don't have any enterprise software products out there. Revenue streams you can generate without a hardware cost. It's really just that speaker, that headphone product line is where they make the majority of their revenue. And then you have moat. There are a lot of companies out there with great products. I think of Beats by Dre. We've also got Bose headphones, Sony. The list goes on. There are a lot of competitors. And the management, I have to be honest, I don't know a lot about the management, but trying to get this ship turned around, that would be a heck of a feat. Sorry, Koss, I had to pick on you for a second. And then last on the list here, this is a product I use and love, which is GoPro, but this does not mean I should invest in the stock. Look at this. Scores 17 out of 100. Horrible financials. Although the margin of safety is 32%, this alone I would avoid with the plague. Their share price is $3.90. Definitely penny stock. Overall financials very weak. In the same situation, you look at the business model. This business, kind of like Koss, it's hardware products and really only one focused line. It's cameras. There's not a lot of diversity there to create confidence for investors like us to invest in a business. And then you look at the competition. If you were to go to Amazon and type in waterproof cameras, oh my gosh, the amount of results you get back that are non-GoPro is ridiculous. There are a lot of competitors in this space. And then you look at the management. Again, I don't know enough about the management, haven't seen a lot of noise, like positive noise there. This might be one of those ships similar to Koss. It's going to be hard to turn around. So, going back through the list, you have GameStop, GoPro, Koss. All four M's fail in these cases. These are speculative stocks. Definitely be very, very careful. So there you go. Those are the 4 different types of stocks you can invest in. I hope you found this video educational. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to take a look at any of the stocks I mentioned or look for other stocks, you can certainly join Tykr for free. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.